to Leah, fresh out of college, part of a small business development team in a mid-sized company. She got her job based on her skills. However, she was the youngest of her team. A lot of her colleagues were twice her age, she stated. And she went into the job with gusto, ready to streamline projects and get rid of inefficiencies. However, her superiors were not impressed by her methods. I exhibited too much ambition, her superiors told her. I heard comments about my age behind my back and to my face. What does this 23-year-old know about these things? Leah experienced what is known as ageism, a commonly attributed discrimination that is normally targeted towards the older generation. That phenomenon certainly exists. In fact, in the US, studies show that 2/3 of workers beyond the age of 45 do experience or have seen some form of age discrimination. However, the younger generation might be the ones who are getting impacted the most by this at this current time. However, before I get too ahead of myself, hi, my name is Zakia Macaulay, and myself, along with Edwina Clark, Samuel Sears, and Vincent Arnett, are going to explore the world of ageism directed towards young people. This TED Talk is split into 3 parts. Ageism in the Bahamas, ageism on an international scale, and ageism experienced firsthand. Before we get into all of that, I am here just to give you a short intro. What exactly is ageism? Age discrimination occurs when a person is viewed as or is treated less favorably or not given the same opportunities because they are viewed as too young or too old. For many years, people tend to attribute ageism towards the older generation, and for good reason. A lot of older people, as they begin to age more, tend to lose their value. For example, a lot of older people are seen as less valuable in the workplace when it is technologically driven or progressing at a fast rate. However, in this capitalist society that we live in, experience is valued a lot more than qualifications. For example, whenever young people get out of college or university, it is extremely difficult for them to find a job, mainly because most jobs are looking for people with experience. But how are you supposed to get that experience if you're not even considered for the job? And in the case of our friend Leah, when you do get the job, you are taken seriously because you lack experience. It is a vicious cycle. But I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing my face. I'm going to hand this off to my colleague Edwina, who is going to expand on ageism in the Bahamas.
Now, we all know age discrimination in the workplace, locally in the Bahamas, especially for college students, can be rough when it comes to finding a job that requires only years of experience. Do you think this is necessary? Employers are forbidden from discriminating against workers or job seekers on basis of number of variables, including sex, marital status, and even age, according to the Employment Act of 2001. Age discrimination is prohibited for all workers unless there is a contract or law that specifies a retirement age. But if that is the case, why are we, particularly our university colleagues, still discriminated against in this day and age? A Bahamian can get a job without experience, and they can gain experience without a job. They seek opportunity in a system that is meant to deny access even with a college degree. It's like we're running in circles. Despite the fact that the many job adverts in the Bahamas require applicants to have a degree, the work experience component of the ads often disqualifies college graduates from the offered employment. Even when Bahamian students travel overseas for study, when they return, some of them may be unable to find a decent job without a very good contact or a recent work experience, which are unlikely to have if they have been abroad for some years. They must at least know 2 to 4 additional individuals, one of whom may be able to provide access to that workplace somewhere without requiring you to be employed or have at least 10 years of experience. Over here, it's always about who you know. Some college students are appalled by the Bahamians' tight and constraining thinking. Young people and young adults have enthusiasm, optimism, inspiration, drive, and momentum to change their country for the better after the exposure to the outside world. Take notice that there are some people that are still in their retirement age that would not let the young people hold a position in the workplace. It is known locally in the workplace, some older persons are slowly moving. They are low in energy, or they are not used to the new era of technology, as well as being unable to sustain long hours if required. Whereas some young people are often said to be adverse to standards, making creative and spontaneous ideas and always looking for shortcuts or taking the easy road. The open ageism we see in the Bahamas business world creates a degree of conflict that is detrimental in progress. It causes a loss of productivity as well as conflict and teamwork issues. We are all encouraged to value diversity in the workplace, regardless of age, gender, ethnicity, or even nationality. When we work together, we become stronger.
Age discrimination is something that is frowned upon all over the world. Most countries have designated acts and legislations that demote the participation of age discrimination. Age discrimination can happen to young or old people. However, most of these acts protect workers who are only 40 years. For example, the United States has the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, which forbids age discrimination against people who are 40 and older. But there are no acts that protect the discrimination against young people who need a future. Young people with bright minds and innovative thinking, creative ways that can push an organization, don't get a chance to do so. Why? They are expected by employers to come out of high school or come out of college with their degrees and expect them to have work experience when they're not given the opportunities to gain that experience. By participating in age discrimination, employers put young people at a major disadvantage by not giving them a chance to chase their dreams or to be able to take care of themselves or their families. Them with little to no alternatives to turn to. They may have an expertise that can make them thousands of dollars a year, but now they have to settle for a job that can only make them barely $1,000 a month. That's not right for our young people. And who have to continue to build these organizations and make them better for future generations. Therefore, hopefully, countries can recognize this dilemma and make changes to their legislations that can accommodate young people and give them a better future. If a group or person decides to make a claim under the Age Discrimination Act, they cannot make a claim also under the state laws. The legislation is set to secure the career paths for all their citizens, young or old, as well as the redeployment of senior workers who may be looking for a job. Any employer caught in the participation of age discrimination in a European country such as France or Spain, they face either 3 years in prison or a fine of 45,000 euros. Europeans to consider something as age discrimination can be the refusal to deliver goods or services, the refusal to hire or even fire somebody because of their age, or to even deny an application for a job because of their age. However, a country in a different region such as Australia, they have their age discrimination act separate from their state and territory laws. So any person or group that may have a claim to make for age discrimination would have to really decide on whether they want to make the claim under the act or state law. If a group or person decides to make a claim under the Age Discrimination Act, they cannot make a claim also under the state laws. As for age discrimination against older people, I did a little bit of research and I came across this situation with this guy named Nicholas Speight, and he was a graduate of Stanford Law School. He was magna cum laude. He was a Rhodes Scholar. He was a law clerk for the U.S. Supreme Court, as well as he was a state attorney general. And at the age of 60, he applied for a track job at over 172 law schools. However, only 2 schools answered back, offering him an interview, as well as he got no job offers. So what is left for Mr. Speight? What if he really needs a job and has a family to feed and would really like to use his expertise? Or what if he just wants to make some extra money to enjoy his retirement age? As a result of seeing such a disappointing result, Mr. Speight decided to sue over 6 law schools for age discrimination. Age discrimination is something that must be eliminated from the minds of employers as well as the business world. It robs young people of their futures, as well as it leaves senior workers obscured from showing their skills and their...
Good day, everybody. My name is Vincent Arnett, and I grew up in the Bahamas on the island called New Providence. I am 23 years young. Yes, not old, 23 years young. This is because in the Bahamas, age discrimination is a real thing, especially in the workplace. Like, for instance, I'm old enough to get a job, but I'm not old enough to have a position. I'm old enough to learn everything about an organization and its systematic structures, but I'm not old enough to manage it. Yes, I'm young old, not old old. In the system, those who aren't experienced, which is the age of 40 and above, have to settle for jobs beneath their expertise. Organizations cry for innovation, but whilst we're at line staff, but doesn't appreciate us at managerial positions, trying to fix those problems. Government organizations retire at what, the age of 55? Nah, that's a joke. They retire whenever they want to. This leaves no room for younger people to come in and take charge. We always go by the old ways. It's quite insanity, you know? Doing the same thing over and over and over and over, expecting a difference, but it'll never happen. Why? Because they don't give us a chance to take charge. How many times you heard a story of the supervisor who seems to know nothing about the organization and go into the line staff to do this, to do that, to do this? Yeah, it really happens. It's like they use our brains as their own personal cages of information, so they can just run to us when they need us, and never really help us to grow.
But hey, yeah, I'm not old enough for that yet. I can't speak about that. But in good news, my birthday is coming up. You're right. I'm gonna be 24 years young.